Hey YouTube, Lawler here as always. The question I've been getting asked the most in the last 2-3 months have been, what's going on with new esports decals? A lot of people looking how they can represent their new and old favorite teams, when we're going to get an update and what's going to be going on. And we finally have official answers for you guys. If you didn't see the post, they ended up putting it out on Twitter, basically stating that they are revamping the RLCS shop in a couple different ways. Number one, they're getting rid of esports tokens. A lot of us are very excited about that. A lot of us have been frustrated about the fact that if you wanted to buy something within the esports shop, you had to not only spend the money on a separate token that didn't translate to anything else versus like the credit system that you use to buy Rocket Pass, unlock blueprints, whatever. It was a separate token. Part of that, I think, for marketing purposes, is it allowed them to easily track what was being spent on the esports side of things. That is my assumption of why they did it, but it also limited the amount of people that were going to purchase, because it was kind of gatekept in its own right. If I have these credits that I can just buy and spend them however I choose, it simplifies the process. It makes more sense. So they're getting rid of esports tokens, and they are just going to be straight up credits. That is what it's going to be. It's going to be the virtual currency for everything in Rocket League, whether it be the esports side or otherwise. They are doing this on April 22nd at 4 p.m. Pacific or 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. That is happening. What a lot of people don't do is read the rest of these posts, which provide some pretty good insight. They also state, hey, tokens are no longer available for purchase. I had people come over to this stream being like, I want to pick up some legacy items. And I'm like, you can't. That you don't have the ability to buy tokens, which I think is also very short-sighted by the esports team and the people and the developers over there. Because right now, if you do not have esports credits, you can't purchase the decals. They haven't switched over the decals purchasing option to credits. Last I checked, you literally can't buy any of the things in the esports shop right now. So if you didn't want them, or if you did want them, you can't. It's too bad. Get over it. Kind of weird. With that being in mind, is if you do have tokens remaining, they will have them converted to credits, and then the credits will be boosted up 10% and rounded up to the nearest 50. Because of the way the purchasing went, the transactions were a little bit different, I guess. So they're going to fix that. The conversion rate of esports tokens credit, it varied by country. For example, in the US, one esports token is worth approximately almost 1 credit. So they're going to round it up and do what they need to. So if a player in the United States had 1200 credits, now they have 1350. So they just kind of break it down more specifics. The other thing they're doing, and this is the thing that's more important, is they say on the 22nd, it's also going to be renamed. It is no longer the esports shop. It will be called the RLCS shop, which makes sense. There was no other esport thing officially from Psyonix outside of the RLCS. So for naming conventions, it's just like, hey, this is where the RLCS stuff is. My hope is that in the future, they do increase what is under the RLCS tab or the esports tab, whatever they end up doing with it, to give us player stats, you know, being able to watch the tournament in-game, things of that nature. That's, again, knock on wood, future hope. The most important thing, though, is the next sentence, and the thing that a lot of people have been asking for forever. To kick things off in the RLCS shop, universal decals repping some of the teams competing in the RLCS will be available. So, for everybody who's asking, officially, when will the RLCS decals be coming out for the 2025 season? You now have an answer. It is when the revamped shop happens on April 22nd. So it will be after the major by a few weeks, which is what I generally predicted. We are going to have a new shop, credits only, and it is going to be with the universal decals and the new ones that have been approved part of their partner program on April 22nd of 2025. Now, they will also, because we talked about, have takeover goal explosions with those teams available as well. Now, the thing to remember with universal decals, the things they can't do is put universal decals on licensed vehicles, things like the Batmobile, things like cars that are a specific representation of certain things. I doubt they're going to work on the F1 cars. I doubt they're, but for cars that are like in game, like if you want to put it on a Gizmo, if you want to put it on, you know, some weird stuff, like if you're a Sentio main, like you can put esports decals now on those. I have talked to a couple org owners. They did have some pretty ecstatic, like crazy, wild ideas. They did have to scale them back a little bit. How much in particular? I haven't seen the new drafts, but they can only go so crazy because they have to make sure that the decals do fit on a wide variety of vehicles. But the nice thing is I can now use my decal on any vehicle that is built into the game that doesn't have licensing conflicts. So again, the biggest thing for everybody is people are wondering, when are universal decals? When are the new esports shop? When's the new stuff? April 22nd. That's what you need to know. So figured we'd get that one out for you quick. Figured we'd give you all the details. Glad to see that they have finally kind of made it very forceful. The difficulties, I thought these should have been done at the beginning of the year, in my personal opinion. But if they've got this new program and this new thing, I'm sure they're taking their time and trying to identify who is part of it, who isn't, who gets the decal, who doesn't. And with making everything universal, I'm sure development time is a little bit weird as well. So we do have official information finally. If you guys have any additional questions, comments, concerns, let me know. Just as a blanket statement, this is RLCS Major Week. We will be talking about the major, what's coming up, power rankings, tier lists, predictions, all that stuff all week. We'll be doing watch parties Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and trying to do a recap video at the end of the day as well for people watching who can't make it. So that's going to do it for me today. I appreciate you all. Thanks for coming and hanging out. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, let me know down below. Like, subscribe, notifications. You guys know what to do. Check out the socials. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.